Hello everybody, this is Rita of the Shadow. Welcome. So yeah, this is actually the second time I'm recording this one, and because the first time the microphone wasn't on. So anyway, so how have you been? And yes, I'm coughing because I'm still recovering from the virus. So just bear with me. And so we are continuing the same topic. Last time we're talking about the cognitive alchemy, and so before we start, just wanted to say this whole thing is highly theoretical, and I have some new thoughts about all of this now. So all of this may be updated in the future, but for now, let's just stick with this concept and roll with them. And so last time we talked about the leaf and petals and the three movements. And the three movements is related to the four sides of the mind theory, if you can remember. And I also explained how I came up with this web analogy. And so today we'll be talking about the gateways, which is the fun part. So what are the gateways? So the gateways are pretty much you can call them access points. So if you consider any of these cognitive elements, or in MBTI they call it cognitive functions, as a primary access point. And so if you connect if you connect a primary access point with another one, it forms a network, and you are basically jumping from one access point to another one, and so that makes it a gateway. And so for example, if you take the NI gateway and then you travel to TI, so this kind of directional directional travel, gateway traveling, is known as the INFJ. Oh, what did I do? INFJ network, because NI traveling to TI, and the idea is that these networks will always have the same orientation with the ones that they are traveling from. So yeah, and so these are the introverted network, and these are the extroverted gateways. And as I said, this may need to be updated, because that's why I paused, because of that reason, because I realized that these two, in CPT, for example, the introverted and extroverted counterpart, they actually can be considered one function. So maybe these two is one actually, but just that some people have a more extroverted disposition and some people have a more introverted position. but you can dip into each of the counterpart freely. So yeah. So anyway, so I'm getting sidetracked. We will come back to that when we talk about CPT. So for now, just work with me. So the gateways, and so if you travel from this direction is the INFJ network. And how about if you go back in different direction? What is this network? So this is TINI. And what is that? So which network has a TI hero and an NI child? There's only one, that is the IS, that is the ISTP. So, and so, so you notice something interesting then. So going this way is the INFJ network. INFJ is part of the soul temple, and going this way is ISTP, and that is the domain of my temple. So then it means that by traveling via NI to TI, you are also traveling, you are changing your temples from soul temple to my temple. So this is how you travel into a different temple then. And that makes this, and because soul and mind are both part of the pedal group, so this means that these ones are part of the pedal network, if you can believe it. So I can prove it to you. So this is the INFP one, and going this way would be the ISTJ, and this is the ENFP one, and going the other way is the ESTJ, and this is, what is this? This is the ENFJ, and going back is ESTP. So you see, these are the pedal networks. Then by logic of deduction, this one must be the networks for the leaf group. So then we get this. So the leaf group with the leaf network makes a leaf loop or the leaf network, like a higher level network. And pedal group plus the pedal network plus the gates, then it makes the pedal loop, the pedal network. Because before the network, there's no way to travel into a different tempo before, even within the leaf and pedal group. But now you have been given a means of traveling. And also, by combining this network, then you can travel to any of the temples, and by extension, any of the 16 personality type networks. So that is if you link these two networks together, then you can do it. So this means that it is theoretically possible for you to cognitive transition or cognitive transition, I guess, or cognitive travel or cognitive alchemy into any of the 16 personality type that you so choose, or just a matter of how easy or hard it is. But it is highly theoretical, of course, but it shows that it is possible. because the networks are there, and we already established that the leaf and petal groups are connected, and the networks themselves are also connected. The only problem is that just knowing that it is possible doesn't mean that it is easy. And also because because um, because the brain is like a network, right? And the networks that you use the most will be more stronger than the networks that you don't use as much. So the same thing is happening here. So the networks that you have higher preference over will always be preferred over the networks that is there, but not a high priority. So just knowing that it's possible doesn't mean that you will do it, or you can do it 100% of the time. Or even if you want to do it, you know. So, but this does show us another important insight. And what is that? So it means that we are more similar than we are different. That we all have the same network pattern. The only difference being how we choose to use the networks within us. That is what makes us unique. And I can assure you, everybody use them differently. That is why we have so many different kind of personalities. And the personalities is then not only determined by your dominant network or your MBTI type, for example, is just a small depiction of a partial depiction of your total network, and that you can more freely to use any of the cognitive networks that you like, if you can imagine that it is possible. And this is showing you visually that it is possible, and we are all unique but the same at the same time. And by understanding ourselves and develop all the networks, we will find it easier to connect with other people who share the same network with us. So that is the true value of learning this science or studying typology, in my opinion, also. And so yeah, so the next step is then to find out what is the priorities of those networks within each given dominant networks, or for each different personality types. So we know for INFJ, they highly prefer an ITI network. But how do we know that which are the second favorite, which are the third favorite, and is there a way to kind of order them from the most preferred to the least preferred? Then we can find out which ones are their strengths and which one might be the potential weakness within this cognitive disposition. So I didn't have the answer using this one only, but through the study of CPT, I have I think found my answer, because in the cognitive networks, I didn't copy their name, it just happened to be the same. But yes, they are also called cognitive networks. And so these cognitive networks basically shows the preference of those the challenge I was mentioning before. So it means that, so we can see again these ones are grouped together, and it makes them, it makes the tempo argument more valid now also. And why are they together? Because they are all related to the cognitive movement, which is the dipping or the extension or the axis, right? And that is one small network within the one small network, and these ones are the additional networks that is accessible for this cognitive personality type and with their order of preferences. And we can notice that it is alternating between the leaf and petal group, and yeah, and it's changing. It's also alternating between perceiving and judging dominant. That is also very interesting for me. So I think it's how the brain works. You always try to find so it means that opposition are not really opposition. They are just supporting information that is that is coming from a different angle. So for you to consider two different perspectives. So of course people can make a judgment and therefore come to a preference of one over the other. But the truth is that it is always one and the other. So I think the faster we realize this, the easier it is for us to be more open-minded, and it's also a way to a more peaceful future. So yeah, so this is the INFJ cognitive network, and this is another example that would be the INFP cognitive network. And I can't explain to you all of this without explaining CPT, but don't worry, which I will do in my future videos. So yeah, so I wanted to make an update as well. So I won't be doing a type analysis using cognitive alchemy just yet because it is not ready. So, but as I said, I'm still studying CPT, and once I think I have a decent grasp of it, then I will try to do some type analysis using the CPT, and I have already gained the permission to talk about it by the original theorist or the author of the book CPT. So yeah, so hope you find this interesting and insightful and helpful, or just fun. And yeah, so thank you for sticking with me, and see you next time. Bye.